Welcome to another episode of Alaskan Babble Podcast, where they babble and we gaggle. Today we are joined by Carol Makiar, the owner of the ice cream shop at Girdwood, which is arguably the best ice cream shop that is in Alaska. Promise you that's probably true, because that's probably one of the reasons me, my wife, go to Girdwood. Special thanks to Chris for setting us up with this new audio equipment. Thank you for being a big fan of the show and contributing to the show. And remember to like, comment, subscribe. It helps us grow our channel and to be on the algorithm for YouTube. But without further ado, Carol, how does it feel to own probably the best ice cream shop in Alaska? Arguably.
It feels great. I feel like a queen.
Do you?
I do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta tell you, my wife is an ice cream connoisseur. She loves all ice creams. It's her favorite dessert. And we've gone to probably a lot of ice cream shops here in Alaska. But the one that we frequently go to just for ice cream is Girdwood. And I can imagine there's a lot of people that feel the same way when it comes to your ice cream shop.
Well, I hope so, because we're very careful as to what products we buy,
Mm-hmm.
who our vendors are, and then once we purchase the ice cream, we take extra care as to how we handle it.
No kidding.
Yes.
So
Mm-hmm.
what kind of what vendors do you go to for your ice cream?
Okay, right now we go with U.S. Foods,
Mm-hmm.
and they handle Oregon Company ice cream.
Yeah.
And Big Dipper, which is in Palmer. He's a relatively new guy.
Okay.
There are two main ones, and then we also deal with Peterkin,
Mm-hmm.
and they have Umpqua ice cream.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So no Ben and Jerry.
No Ben and Jerry's.
No Ben and Jerry.
No.
Unpopular opinion, it's not that good?
Ben and Jerry?
Yeah.
Oh no, I think their ice cream is good.
Yeah.
But they just don't vend to us.
Oh, I see.
Yes.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
So it seems like you have a local vendor here in Palmer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And that's a whole story.
Oh, I'm
I'll
ready
tell
to
you.
hear
Okay,
that story.
ready? Okay. When we started the ice cream shop, the ice cream people in Anchorage in the state of Alaska were so helpful to us. It was like they heard that we were going to start this shop, and it was like they reached out to us. If you need this help, if you need this help, if you need this help. And one of the persons was a gentleman named Dave Smith, and he owned Alaska Supreme Ice Cream.
Interesting.
Okay. And Dave was up in Mountain View, and he put out, this one we'll definitely be talking about, is Fireweed and Honey.
I know the fireweed and honey.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. But we bought from Dave, and then Dave sold it to a guy named Chris, and I don't know Chris's last name. And I dealt with Chris for many years. And Chris had everything in his head. Nothing was written down. And in our shop, we have ingredients of every ice cream, in case people come in and they want, they're allergic to something and so forth.
Right.
Liability-wise, instead of my standing there and saying, well, it has this and this and this, we just have it written out. We give them the folder. They can read and they make the decision.
Okay.
Okay. So, Chris became ill and passed away.
Oh, okay. That's unfortunate.
Yes, it was. It
Yeah.
was very unfortunate. And along with him went his fireweed and honey recipe.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's
right.
not good.
No.
That's not good at all.
No, that's not good at all, because it was definitely our top seller.
Uh-huh.
By far. Moose Tracks is there too, but
Ooh, I love Moose Tracks.
yes, but fireweed and honey was over the top. Okay, so Chris passes. There was absolutely nothing left except this little list of ingredients that I had. And I thought, what am I going to do?
So did you recreate it?
Okay, just by chance, I find this business card that some guy from Palmer had come in, and it said Big Dipper ice cream. And along with it was a note saying, we are opening this business, and we would like to know if you would be interested in purchasing any of our products.
Okay.
Okay. And we have 2 dip cabinets which hold 36 flavors, and then we also have some in the freezer. And I'm thinking, oh no, just another flavor. And I thought, I wonder if I can talk this guy into making fireweed and honey ice cream for me.
Okay.
So I made an appointment with him, went up to Palmer, sat and visited with him a while, tasted some of his ice creams, all of which were very good.
Yeah.
And he said, well, are you interested in buying any of them? And I said, well, let me put it this way. Would you be interested in making fireweed and honey ice cream for me?
Interesting.
And he's a big, tall guy, and I can still see him. And he leaned over and said, do you think it would sell? And I said, are you kidding? Rob is his name. I said, are you kidding, Rob? You'll sell more of that than any other flavor. Trust me. And he said, well, I've got to talk to my wife. So I jumped in my car and went back to Girdwood, did whatever. A couple days later, he called me and he said, if you purchase some from me, we will make fireweed and honey ice cream. And I said, well, here's the problem. I said, I have the ingredients, but I don't have the recipe.
Interesting.
Would you be willing to work with me on this? And again, he said, do you really think this will sell, Carol? And again, I told him, I said, Rob, trust me, it'll sell.
It's Alaskan. Of course it's going to sell. Fireweed and honey?
Fireweed and honey.
Yeah.
So, we started, and it took us about 6 months. He would make some. He would bring some to Girdwood, or I would go up there and pick it up, whatever. And some of our older customers that had eaten the fireweed and honey ice cream, we would ask them, compare this. How does this taste compared to what we had? Because
Right.
most of them knew the situation. No, this isn't even close. No, this is too much. This is too little. And so we just kept
Picky people, aren't they?
No, because we wanted them to be picky.
Right.
Because we wanted to get as close to that recipe as we could get.
So did you have like blind test samples?
No. He would make a batch.
Yeah.
And bring it down. And that's all they had to try.
Interesting.
So they would say, yes, this is close. No, this isn't close. And we were from way far off. And we just kept trying and trying and trying until we finally nailed it. And we probably had, I'm guessing, maybe 50 or 60 of our continuous customers that bought the fireweed and honey from us. And when the vast majority of them said, oh yeah, this is okay, then we went ahead with that and we started producing that.
So how many people volunteered for this endeavor?
Tasting it?
Yeah.
Oh, it would just be if I called somebody.
Interesting.
Yeah, there was no formality to it whatsoever.
Hey, can you go try my fireweed and honey ice cream?
Exactly.
I kind of need a test taker right now. I got a small scoop for you if you want to have it.
You got it.
There we go.
And I would tell them, bring out your memory taste buds. Because if they had the fireweed and honey before. And then I also had people that would just walk in that most of them would be from Anchorage, and if I knew that they had tasted it.
Right.
Yes. And so finally, after 6 months, we had fireweed and honey. He started mass producing it, and it was we were back on track, sort of, kind of.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. And then came, let me think on this one. Then came this issue. We purchased, because our fireweed and honey, as opposed to some other fireweed and honey ice creams, or even fireweed, we actually use juice from the fireweed plant.
Interesting.
Yeah. And we have a vendor that we get that fireweed juice from. And he's local. He's Anchorage. And, for example, if you are going to use the fireweed and honey for ice cream in 2021,
right,
you have to harvest it in 2020, right?
Right.
Okay. Well, I got a call from Rob, and he said, Carol, we don't have any fireweed juice. And I said, what do you mean we don't have any fireweed juice?
There's so much fireweed that grows.
Yes. And he said, in this particular company, the employees saw the year, you know how we label everything, you know,
Sure.
year-wise. Okay, and they saw that it was the previous year. They thought it was expired, so they threw it out.
Oh no.
Thousands of dollars worth
Oh
of fire.
no.
Oh yeah, yeah, this is for real. Fireweed juice, and it was like, oh my golly. So Rob searched and searched, and finally found some fireweed juice somewhere, and I don't remember where. And then eventually, so we were like 3 months without fireweed and honey ice cream.
Wow.
Okay, and this was in the fall, so it wasn't so bad. Okay, so we get that back. We're up and running. Everything is fine. Then, either the following summer or 2 summers later. Remember the summer where we had no summer and it was just rain, 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 rain?
Yes, I sadly do remember this summer.
Yeah, and then we had no fireweed because
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
no fireweed. And so it's late September, 1st October, Rob calls me and he said, Carol, we have no fireweed juice.
We're screwed. No
And I
more
said-
no more fireweed and honey.
I said, well, why? You know, not thinking, you know, I mean, to me, you know, you have fireweed juice, it's an unlimited source, but it's
Right.
not. And he explained that his vendor, because of the all the rain, they didn't have enough fireweed juice for us.
Wow.
So he had, I think, 20 tubs
Mhm.
left, and I took all 20. And meanwhile, he searched and searched, and I think he imported some from Canada, but I don't want to be quoted on that. He found us some, let's say it that
Unquote, no quote.
way. Okay.
Yeah. We're not quoting.
Okay. But anyhow, he found us some right around December, and I had just run out.
Mhm.
I mean, I was like maybe 3 weeks that I had run out.
Right.
So immediately he got it up and running, and I can remember going up there and just picking up all this fireweed ice cream. And so that's the story on the fireweed. So I feel very blessed
Yeah.
when we have the fireweed and honey. And what is interesting is the few times that we don't have it, if somebody comes in and you don't have it, they think that you're carrying it only seasonally.
Interesting.
Yep. And I was just in some place in Anchorage the other day, and somebody came up to me and said, when are you going to get your fireweed and honey back? And I said, oh, we have it. Well, don't you have it only in the summertime? And I said, no, we have it year round. And this person happened to be in there during one of those periods.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So, were you able to replicate the recipe at the end of the day? Okay, very
Yes,
awesome.
yes.
So, what was the missing ingredient? No, wait, are you even supposed to tell me?
No,
Yeah.
no.
It's a
It
secret.
wasn't there was anything missing. It was the proportion of what you put in it.
Interesting.
Yes. And you wouldn't think with so few ingredients in it that it would vary that much. But
Interesting.
It does. Mhm.
Now, that's very interesting.
Mhm.
Do you think fireweed would actually sell better if it was a seasonal ice cream? Yeah, I think like a pumpkin spice latte on the fall. You know, everyone with a sun hat is going to go out to Starbucks and get that pumpkin spice latte. And Starbucks sells so much
No.
of that. No?
No.
No.
No. If you looked at our numbers, it sells year round.
Right.
Yes. We have year round visitors that come from outside, and they come into our shop.
Mm-hmm.
They don't even say hello. They say, show me that fireweed and
Show me
honey
that
ice cream.
fireweed.
They do.
I'm gonna have
I
to
want
try
the
it.
fireweed and honey. Even if they're coming to ski, you know, if they're staying at the resort, and especially in the summertime. I've had visitors from outside who say they have gotten off their plane, they've gotten their rental car, and the first place they come is to get that fireweed and honey ice cream.
Interesting.
Mhm.
Man, oh man. You know, I have a confession. I never ate the fireweed ice cream. I'm just a sucker for the moose
Moose
tracks.
tracks.
Yeah. I'm a huge sucker for moose track or anything peanut butter. Like I will eat peanut butter like no one's business.
Sort of like me and chocolate.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
You know, it's pretty funny that way.
Mhm.
I have a hard time going out of the box when it comes to my flavors of ice cream.
Same here.
Yeah, but I
Same
should,
here.
after hearing all that story about the fireweed, I should definitely go out.
Uh-huh.
And what I really love about that story that you told me is that it's a lot of locals working together to bring back a dead recipe, essentially.
Yes, right.
Right. And the tragic part about when someone passes away, so does their knowledge and their ingredients. My nephew, for example, is a chef, right? And he, I can imagine, has like so many
Oh,
ingredients.
chefs don't write anything
Yeah,
down, I think.
yeah,
Yeah.
right, right. So I know for him specifically what he does. I mean, we went to a restaurant, the Crow's Nest,
Uh-huh.
the other day because he came down to visit, and he said, "You know what? I am gonna go to Crow's Nest, and I'm gonna try a sample of every food that they got, so I can write down the recipe and see what they actually put in it." Which I find very interesting. It's interesting how people can have the palate to actually taste the different ingredients.
Oh, yes.
That is actually a very fascinating skill.
Mm-hmm. Tyken, I have a neighbor who lives across the street. He is French, and his original business was something in cybersecurity or something like that. But he is also a chef,
Yeah.
and he can do that.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. I mean, and to me, it's amazing. It's like I eat it.
Right. I just consume it. It goes in my mouth, and that's pretty much it.
Exactly, but he can tell. He can say, they should have put a little more of this in, or they have too much of this, or yes, not me.
Oh boy, that is very interesting. Do you have that same palate when it comes to ice cream too, where you can taste the different ingredients?
Let's say I couldn't tell you what the ingredients are, but if you gave me this, I would say the same flavor from two different vendors.
Mm-hmm.
I could tell the difference.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, is there a particular, I don't gotta say vendor, but is there a particular brand of ice cream you would run away from the moment you see it at the store?
No, not really.
No.
No.
Yeah.
The only thing that perplexes me is companies that sell fireweed and as fireweed ice cream, but it's a vanilla with lavender
So it's
coloring.
false fireweed.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
yeah. But they have the right to do that. They can call it whatever they want.
False advertisement, if you ask me.
Um, I agree, but they do it and people eat it and they can tell the difference.
Oh, sheep of the ice cream world. What are we gonna do? One other
Yep.
thing that you mentioned in your story that I really like is how locals are helping each other.
Oh my.
Right. And is that a common theme when it comes to businesses, local businesses in Alaska? Is that they like to stick with each other rather than outsourcing to outside of Alaska?
From the people who are in business that I know, my answer would be yes.
Right.
But I can't speak collectively,
Mm-hmm.
you know, for everyone. But the people that I deal with and the people that I know that are in other types of business, oh yes,
Yeah.
we would definitely want to support each other.
Yeah, and that's something I really appreciate. One of the things about Girdwood that I really do love is the Forest Fair, right?
Yes.
I think the Forest Fair is probably funnest, the funnest fair during the summertime. That's the one thing I really look forward to
Yes.
during the summer. And why I like it so much is because it's all it's all locals
Yes.
from around the state,
Mhm.
right? You won't find anyone outside the state selling.
Right.
And that's one of the things I do love about Girdwood is that it's a really cool community that kind of gathers together, and they're able to, make a very niche culture,
Yeah.
which I really, really do enjoy. And they're beautiful people. There must be something in the water. I can imagine.
Girdwood is changing a lot. Well, one thing I do, when you mentioned the Forest Fair,
Mhm.
there's also now the Blueberry Festival
The Blueberry Festival, yes.
that the resort is putting on.
Interesting. Yep.
And I was told that last year because the number of vendors has definitely increased, and
Yeah.
they do the same thing. It's all locals,
Yep.
and that the number of customers that went through there was comparable to the Forest Fair,
Interesting.
and I wouldn't doubt it.
Well, it's good marketing.
But they're both. I mean, they're both great, and exactly what you're saying.
Mhm.
You have local people selling local things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think there's something about the Alaskan brand. I mean, I'm as guilty as anyone else that I live in Alaska, so I cash in on the name Alaskan, right? Alaskan Babel Podcast. I've talked about it with other people like Chad Carpenter too, where he's like, well, if you put Alaska in the title, it's going to do very well.
Yes.
Yeah. So, especially with local goods such as fireweed ice cream,
Hmm.
if you were, and that's another beautiful thing too, is that a lot of locals over here would take the natural resources and cultivate it, which is really awesome,
Yeah.
and make their own unique spins of different products.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So I find that really fascinating about Alaskan culture in general. And granted, I don't, I've I've lived in the lower 48, but I don't think I've experienced the cultures of the lower 48 very much. But I arguably want to say it's a very, Alaskan thing to cultivate their own resources.
I think they do.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, absolutely.
Um, when we get visitors from outside, and especially the visitors that it's their first time here,
Hmm.
to them they're in like in a foreign country.
Isn't it funny?
It is. It is. Many of them have saved up all their life to
Hmm.
come up here.
Yeah.
I mean, many of them have told me
Yeah.
that this was the dream of their life, was to come up to Alaska.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. That
Just
is cool.
recently, I had a gentleman who came in, and he and two other friends had taken a trip around the world.
Interesting.
And the places where they went was, I mean, they were, I think they were gone like 2.5, 3 months. I know they were, at
Mhm.
least that. And the other two guys, Alaska was the last place that they were going to come.
Interesting.
And the other two guys decided they were done. They wanted to go home. So they were from Poland.
Poland, okay.
From Poland, yes. And this gentleman then told me that he had gone to Fairbanks, and he had gone to Seward, and then on his way back, he stopped in the shop,
Right.
and he was telling me this, and he said, Carol, I have to tell those guys that they saved we saved the best for last,
Very
and they
awesome.
missed it. Yeah.
Right.
Hmm.
So in your opinion, because you do come across a lot of tourists all the time.
Hmm.
And there's many beautiful states in the United States in general. Why do you think Alaska is one of those states that people do save up a ton of money to travel? Why is this the dream destination?
I think they have a mystique that we are, that it's cold and dreary, and that people who live up here are survivors.
My stomach says otherwise.
Oh, mine too, mine too. But a lot of them believe that, and then when they come in the summertime and they see our 24-hour daylight, and they see all the beauty,
Hmm.
they're just. Um, but as far as the answer of your question, I think that my response is that they have the feeling that we are cold, that it's cold, it's dark, it's dreary.
Which was this winter.
It's a challenge.
Yeah.
But they also hear that it's beautiful at the same time.
Oh yeah.
Hmm.
Oh yeah. I'll be the first one to say this, and I think a lot of people would agree that this winter has been brutal.
It's been cold.
It's been a brutal winter.
Yes.
But there is the beauty, like if you look out on the scenic
Oh.
route, you see the mountains, and if you go past Girdwood driving to Soldotna,
That turning an arm,
Mhm.
sometimes when I drive in, the way the ice has formed this year and how it's changed so much and so forth, and sometimes I have a hard time keeping my eyes on the road.
right?
Yes. The other day, the wind and the tides were such that it was just moving the ice, and it was moving fairly rapidly. And of course, the water was going right along with it. I stopped and took a video and sent it to some friends.
That's
It
awesome.
was just majestic.
Yeah.
And you'd think after, what, 51 years that I'd be a little tired of it.
I don't think anyone could ever get tired of it. I mean, it's one of the reasons why I have a hard time wanting to move out of Alaska
Oh,
because we have a lot of freedoms I think that most other states don't have. Like I would say we're very, I don't want to say loose on regulations, but we're very much, live live the life that you want to live. I would arguably say, within the confines of the law, of course, but
yes.
more states are a lot stricter with regulations than I would say Alaska is. And I could be very wrong. I know that there's a lot of regulations when it comes to developing on federal land and all that stuff.
And I get the feeling that here, and maybe I'm totally off base, but I think here we have more of an openness and more of a care for the person. Maybe we don't know each other very well,
Right.
but we care about that person. When I'm here in Anchorage, which is very
Los Anchorage.
yes,
Yeah.
okay. It's I feel that I can talk to almost anybody.
Right.
You go into a credit union, somebody standing beside you, you can talk. Okay.
Yeah.
You go to the lower 48, I don't get that feel.
That's a very interesting point, which I would agree with.
Mm-hmm.
And I would arguably say that it's because we are, even though we're the biggest state, we're also the smallest state in population. So I would say even here in Anchorage, everyone knows everyone in one capacity or
Oh.
another.
Oh.
And I can imagine in Girdwood, it's especially. I lived in small towns before, and my God, I would give anything to move into a small town and get out of Anchorage.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
But it's one of those familiarities between people. It's like everyone knows everyone some way,
Yeah.
one
Oh,
form or another.
absolutely, absolutely. And that's one thing that I tell my grandkids. You guys, if you're going to get into trouble, don't get into trouble really bad because your last name is the same as mine.
Right.
And you guys, I will try to do the same. I will try to stay out of trouble so it doesn't taint your last name either.
Exactly.
Yeah, no.
Exactly. That's 100% true. Especially which it seems to me, but every time I go to the ice cream shop, there's a lot of youth that works there. It seems like
Yes.
you like to develop the professional relationship of youth in your shop. I don't really see any adults there. It's more of the adolescents that come to work at your shop. I could be totally off base, but that's kind of what I noticed.
We have had some older people work in there. When I say older, anybody under 70 is a kid.
Right.
So if I talk about my kids, that's who I'm talking about.
Sure.
Yeah, in the past we have had some older people in there. They may come in and work for a summer or 3 or 4 winters, and they usually like it because they're mentoring younger people.
Interesting.
When we started the shop, that was one of our missions.
Okay.
My late husband, Bud Gibbs, and I, that was one of the things that we said we were going to do.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. When I was growing up, I started working, I was like 8 years old.
Sure.
And I had wonderful mentors.
Mm-hmm.
And one of my goals was to pass that down, give those kids an opportunity. And some of them come in and they can't even walk and chew gum at the same time. They don't know how to use a broom.
That's true.
It's true.
This is a true story.
But you take what you get and you take them from there.
Right.
And it's been, it's fascinating when you get a youngster who is, sometimes 14 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years later, they may have their own business. They may work for Apple. They may work for Google. They may be out in the bush. Just the different things that so many of them have done.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Seems like to me you have a mission to foster those youth.
Yeah.
Is that an accurate statement?
Yes, that's
And
one of them. Mm-hmm.
This comes from your background in education, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah. So,
Uh-huh.
You've seen a lot of generations probably of youth, one after another.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So, do you notice the difference between each generation of the youth?
Not really.
No, they're all the same.
Yes, and one of the one of my pet peeves,
Yeah.
if that's what you want to say, is when I'm talking to someone about my age.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, give 10 years one way or the other, and Tyken, when they start ranting and raving about the horrible youth that we have today, I sit back and take it for a while, and then all of a sudden it just comes out. Just
Interesting. No, and I totally understand. I I arguably would like to see that each generation bashes the previous generation. Oh no, it's your fault we're here. Oh no, it's your fault that you're here.
uh-huh.
They constantly go back and forth blaming each other instead of, you know, lifting up each other, right? And that's what I noticed between. I mean, it's my own mission too because I work with a lot of youth. Is
Yeah.
I do my best to cultivate and foster a relationship with these youth to help them, with their academics, of course, but also with developing them as a person.
Oh, absolutely. And I think the one thing that we as older people, you, me, that when we're working with these youth is that one thing that we have to keep in mind, their slates are clean.
Right?
And all this stuff that we have in our heads,
Mm-hmm.
they don't have.
No, that's absolutely true. Isn't
They
that
don't
beautiful?
have they don't have our experiences, whether they be positive or negative. They haven't had these yet. And many things we expect them to know, they don't know because they haven't been there.
Right.
At
least not yet.
No, not yet. No, not yet. Absolutely.
Oh, but it's coming.
And as in the world that they are in, when I think of the world that a 14-year-old is in now compared to the world that I was in when I was 14,
Mm-hmm.
oh, different as night and day.
Absolutely.
Yes. I mean, phone. We had one phone in our house.
Right.
Yes. And now you have your phone with you.
Yeah.
It has positives and positive things and negative things.
Mm-hmm.
Just yesterday, this was so darn cute. I am purchasing a car for the ice cream shop kids to use.
Okay.
So that they can transport things from my house where we store a lot of things, like
right.
hundreds of tubs of ice cream in this big walk-in, back down to the shop. And a friend of mine was selling a 2009 Honda
Civic?
CRV.
Okay, CRV. Yeah.
CRV, yes. Okay. And I went to take a look at it. And the first thing I noticed, it didn't have a backup camera.
That must be interesting for
Okay.
My car doesn't have a backup camera.
And it didn't have Bluetooth.
Oh no.
Oh yes, it did not have Bluetooth.
No, not the Bluetooth.
No Bluetooth.
We're gonna have to get that cassette tape player Bluetooth adapter now.
And then you could put a CD in, and they knew
Oh,
what CDs
okay.
were.
So
Yeah,
there's some modernization.
Yes,
At least you got the
And then
compact
what was
disc.
the third thing I was going to say? Oh, yes. It didn't have, and that reminds me of another story. It didn't have all the beeps. Like if you get too close to something, beep, beep, beep.
Oh,
If you
all
get
the
too far
bells
away,
and whistles.
beep, beep, beep. And if you get too close, it automatically brakes. It didn't have any of this.
Oh no.
And so I told the guy, I said, I'm going to go and talk to my staff about this before before I let you know whether or not I'm going to buy it. Okay, now the kids I was talking to were 23, 21, 21, 15. He doesn't even have his driver's permit.
I'm
yet,
glad you gave
but-
him a voice in this opinion.
Oh, yeah. Well, I wouldn't say he had a voice in it. He was more or less listening. Because we're on him, he needs to get his permit.
Right.
That's another thing I can't understand. But nevertheless, so I was telling them this. That there was another one there, and I think he's 19. But when I was telling them this, they looked at me and they said, "Well, that would be fun." And I said, "What do you mean it would be fun?" Well, that would be a challenge that you would have to. That you would have to look where you're backing up.
Right.
And they just went down the line. And I said, well, do you think this would hamper your driving skills? And increase your risks of having an accident. Oh no, 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 no. We'll just learn it. We'll be patient. Yeah, but I thought it was they just sort of rose to the occasion as I mentioned each one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but what I was going to say was last year my truck got sideswiped.
Sure.
Okay, so I had to take it into a body shop to get fixed, and they were going to keep it for about a month. Okay, and it's got all the bells and whistles because
Yeah.
it's a 2025 Toyota Tundra.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can imagine. All right, and my grandson has an older, I don't know what year, but it's a Tacoma,
Okay.
and all these kids that work in the shop know this truck.
Does it make a lot of squeaky noise every time it goes?
No, no, no. The engine's good. The engine is good.
Oh,
But
good. The
it-
serpentine belt's fine.
Yeah, but it doesn't have all this other stuff that I was talking about.
Interesting.
So he's off to college, and my insurance company said that I could rent his truck. Per day they would pay me just like I would pay Avis or somebody.
Interesting.
So yeah, that's one to check. But anyhow, so I rented his truck, and when they found out that I was going to be driving his truck, these kids, 4 or 5 of them, said to me, "Carol, we're concerned about you having Vaughn's truck." I said, "What do you mean?" And they said, "Well, it doesn't have a backup camera, and it doesn't have this. Doesn't have the bells and whistles."
I was driving 6 shifts before you were born.
Exactly, exactly.
Do you even know how to shift into gear?
I just thought it was so darn cute. Yeah. Yep.
Well, what's really interesting... Oh, boy. What is really interesting about that, too, is that this current generation... Oh, will you stop that? This current generation is actually stepping away from digital goods now.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So
yes.
It's so funny because with my generation, the millennials, right, we were born in the analog age, and then we switched over to the digital age, but Gen Z and Gen A are all born in the digital age, pretty much iPhone, post iPhone, right? And what they're realizing now is that, man, I really don't like this very much, being all digital. So they're going back to wanting to own books or wanting to own movies or
Oh, yes.
records or CDs,
Yes.
right? It seems like there's an active rebellion against digital goods now.
I think they feel that they're on overload.
Yes.
I do. Do you know when South High School, because several of my kids go to South.
Yeah.
Okay. When South High School said that they could not have their phones in the classroom, I asked these couple of the kids, I said, "How do you feel about that?" 3 or 4 of them I asked. Their response was, "That's great." I said, "What do you mean that's great?" Just
Sure.
egging them on. Well, now I don't have to make that decision whether or not to look at my phone in the classroom.
Sorry, we had a little bit of technical difficulty there, but we were talking about how Gen Z and Gen A are rebelling against technology. And you were speaking about how they felt about leaving their phones in the locker at South High.
They said they were glad
Interesting.
that it took the responsibility off them. That if
Interesting.
if they're sitting in the classroom, they have their phone, even if you have it on silent. You can tell. But they said when it's in the classroom, they said now we can concentrate more on what we're doing. I thought that was very interesting.
Wow.
Yeah. To me, it was heavy.
Yeah.
I mean, I did not expect that. I thought they were going to say something like, "Oh, they're telling us what to do again." No.
They were relieved.
Yes, they were relieved.
That's actually really interesting because, the phone itself, it's fast dopamine, right? And what it does to a brain, and my brain too, that's why I deleted Facebook off my phone, is that the companies like Facebook, right, or Twitter, YouTube, whatever, right, they use a lot of techniques such as they have a lot of ABA people, advanced behavioral analytic people that work with them. So they know how to keep people engaged with their product.
Huh.
Yeah, it's actually very interesting because it rewires the dopamine in your brain, right? It's going to want you to tune in more for the actual actual product, so you're stuck on your phone. So what I found really interesting with me too is that when I deleted Facebook off my phone about 6 or 7 weeks ago, when I pull my phone up, I automatically want to just go onto Facebook. And I'm like, oh, wait, I don't have Facebook anymore and I can't do that. So it becomes actually an addiction in a lot of ways.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
Like, it's very addictive to the user, and they know it too. Like, they're not blind to it.
Mm-mm.
And that's why I don't have Facebook on my phone. It's just because I don't want my brain to be okay with that anymore. Right. And I think what your grandchildren are saying is that they feel that pull for them to go on their phones.
Yeah, these are employees at the shop.
Or the employees at the shop. They feel the pull to want to be on their phone.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that that's a real thing is actually really saying to the companies and what they have in store for people that use their products. But I find it relieving that they are actually okay with that.
It surprised me.
Yeah.
It did.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
You were in education, and and you retired and opened the ice cream shop.
Okay. Yeah, I was in education, different aspects of it, and I retired from the Anchorage School District in '96.
Okay.
Yes, and then I went into real estate, and I made good money, but I didn't like it.
Yeah.
It was not a good fit for me. And I have many friends who are great realtors, but it was not my thing.
Right.
And so then I started an educational consulting firm where I worked with parents, and then did a lot of tutoring as well.
Interesting.
Yeah. And then at that time I was working with homeschoolers just like you do.
Interesting.
And helping them put together their programs and which program to seek out for what classes and so forth. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Okay, what was going to be your question?
So you moved on. It seems to me as you went from education to real estate to open your own consulting firm for education. Then you opened the shop, right? So what caused you to want to open an ice cream place?
Okay, when I told you that I had good mentors.
Yeah.
When I was in college, I worked in a Dairy Queen.
Mm-hmm. Oh boy.
Oh boy, that's right. And it was a small Dairy Queen. It wasn't no sit down.
Yeah.
No, it was, you had 2 windows is what you had.
Okay.
And it was in Ohio, and it was on a truck route.
Okay.
Okay, so you had all these big truckers that came by every day. Right?
Want that vanilla ice cream on the cone.
You got it. And they wanted milkshakes. And with my being, college age, a girl, and these guys, they're driving by and they just want somebody to talk to and so forth.
I'm so lonely on the road.
Yes, exactly.
I'm driving this ton of...
Tyken, I worked my butt off, but I had so much fun. I could sell these guys anything.
Oh, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, and
I'm sure you could.
I would make it all these milkshakes, all these sundaes. These guys were. But to me, it was just a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Okay, so when I was teaching school, the kids would ask me, "What are you going to do? When you retire?" Just to have something to say, I would say, "I'm going to start an ice cream shop."
And so I did.
Yes. Because they want an answer.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to go to Arizona or whatever. So I would say this to them, and in the back of my mind, I thought, that would really be fun. From having had the Dairy Queen experience. Well, with all of this going on, in let's see, I retired in 96, 1999, 2000. My late husband and I built a home. And we did a B&B down in the bottom, and then I was doing the education thing in addition. Mm-hmm. So, and I was doing a lot of running at that time.
Yeah.
And I would run my neighbor's dogs.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. And my late husband, Bud, there were 2 things that he didn't like on this earth.
Okay. One
was cottonwoods, and the other one was dogs.
Oh, boy.
Yes. Okay. So I kept telling him, I said, I just need something more to do, something a little different, something that has a little bit of structure but not a lot of structure. And so, I would just say this to him continuously, I need something to do. So one day I was coming back from Anchorage. I remember it vividly. And there used to be a gift shop in the spot where we are. And that gift shop was closing. And there was a for lease sign on there.
Okay.
So I went home, and the next day or two, I went out for a run, and I came back, and my late husband was lying in bed watching TV. And I said, Bud, I'm giving you an ultimatum.
Dogs or ice cream? Which one do you want?
Exactly. That's exactly what I said. I said, either we're going to start an ice cream shop, and that's in the space that has just become available down in the mall, or I'm going to get a dog. I was kidding.
And it's not going to be any dog. It'll be a Chihuahua. Do you want a Chihuahua? We're going to make a gift. You're going to be annoyed, and God forbid, you're probably going to leave the house after that.
You're not kidding. And so he just laughed. I said, it's your call. And he just laughed, and I turned around and walked out. Never thought a thing of it. A couple days later, and we happened to know the leasing agent.
Yeah.
A couple days later, he was going to leave, and he said, I'm going to go meet Rick.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, what are you guys up to? And he looked at me, Tyka, and he said, I don't want a darn dog. Closed the door, went out, and I'm going, oh no.
We're getting a cat instead.
Oh no. And that's all he said. And a couple days later, he said, Carol, we need to go look at some lease papers. Because when he came back, he never said anything, and I never asked anything.
He was just like, I made a down deposit on this store, and now you can't complain about not having a dog.
Yeah.
You're just going to have a lot of ice cream.
You got it. And so we met, and he had managed commercial buildings and knew a lot about construction. We actually we physically built our own house, except for sheetrock.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yes, but so here we go. We signed this lease. And I'm going, oh, now what? And it was just like the word would get out. I would call somebody and say, we're going to start an ice cream shop. And in that, talking to somebody in the ice cream world, and that person would tell someone else. And before we knew it, we had all this help.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't think about it, but we had to figure out the whole layout of the store. I mean, all we had, Tyken, was an empty shell. That was it. I mean, nothing. I mean,
no vanilla, no moose tracks, no fireweed.
We had no counters. We had no tile on the floor. We had nothing.
My gosh.
And there was a guy, and I want to say he worked for Anchorage Restaurant Supply,
mm-hmm.
who helped us, who gave us some pointers on laying out the store. But I can remember the one thing he said: you want to have 2 cash registers.
Right.
Yeah, I can remember that was one thing he said, and I'm so glad he said that. And then the rest, we got a lot of help from like the people who are going to sell us the refrigeration equipment.
Right.
And all that. I mean, they wanted us to be successful.
It seems complicated to open an ice cream shop.
It was. And especially when you know nothing.
No.
And then we fell on to Dave Smith, that owned Alaska Supreme Ice Cream.
Mm-hmm.
And Food Service America, which is now U.S. Foods.
Right.
And those guys were very helpful.
Yeah.
And then the guy that owned Tasty Freeze, Rich Owens,
mm-hmm.
He was very helpful. And as a matter of fact, we had soft serve and we had hard pack.
Oh, boy.
Yes. And
what happened to the soft serve?
The soft serve. With soft serve machines, it didn't matter what brand machine we had, we were married to them.
Right.
They were constantly breaking down. And yes, and between Rich Owens, that owned Tasty Freeze, and Mike Bender, that owns Lazy Otter in
mm-hmm.
Whittier, and us, I think we traded machines, all throughout this thing. And one of us would get a new part, and so forth. And finally, we decided Yeah, because we went through, now that I'm thinking about it, we went through several models, and we went from big to little, and finally one day we said, we're done. And so, yep, so we went hard pack. But the interesting thing is that when the Alaskan Federation of Natives,
Mhm.
when they have their meetings here in town, a lot of the natives would come in and they wanted soft serve. They loved soft serve ice cream, and I can remember I felt so bad, when they came in the fall and we didn't have it.
Oh, wow.
And still, some of them will come in and and ask for the soft
Sorry,
serve.
we still don't have soft serve.
No, no.
Why is there only two flavors of soft serve? Is there a reason why they only come in vanilla and chocolate, or
Oh no, you can get different flavors.
you can?
Yes.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, maybe people don't like to get different flavors of soft serve for companies.
No.
No.
No, you can get different flavors.
Interesting.
You can actually get the vanilla base and make whatever flavor you want.
Interesting.
But we
Okay.
stuck with chocolate and vanilla.
Okay, very interesting, very
Yes.
interesting. So it sounds incredibly complicated to open your own ice cream shop, that's for sure. And what I really enjoy about your story is that it was an idea that came into fruition, right? And it seems like with any dream, it always starts with an idea, but the hard part is actually making it into a reality.
Yes, yes. And we signed our lease, and I want to say that was like January,
Mhm.
February, right around in there. And we opened April 26th, 2001. We have our 25th anniversary next month.
Oh, very awesome.
But the actual day falls on the same day as Slush Cup. So
Very awesome.
So we're doing it the day before. And you're not on Facebook, but we're having a free raffle. We're raffling off 25 gifts because it's our 25th year.
That is awesome.
And then you can come in. You have to come into the shop to sign up.
Mhm.
And then the other one is you can guess how many scoops of ice cream we've sold in the 25 years.
Oh, man.
And that person
So
wins,
much ice cream.
that person wins a free tub of ice cream, a case of cake cones to go with it, and a scoop so they can
Oh,
make their
wow.
cones.
That is how many scoops of ice cream? Gosh, it has to be like in the billions probably since 2001.
I am not telling.
Do you even know? Do you have a list of how many scoops you sold? Wow. Holy Moses,
Yes.
that must be... So every time a customer orders a scoop, do you actually do a tally? Scoop.
Oh no,
Scoop.
no,
Scoop.
no. But I'm not going to divulge how I came up with the number.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So no secret hints on this podcast.
No.
Okay.
What I did, once I figured it out, I put the number in an envelope, and then, where you seal the envelope, I wrote on it, "Do not even think about opening this envelope." Then I put a piece of tape over top of it and put it in the back room.
Oh, that's mean.
Oh, I know.
That's so mean. Your employees must be like, I really want to see what's in
Yes,
that envelope.
they do. They go over to it.
Even if they don't win the prize, I'm sure they're really curious to know how much scoops of ice cream
Yes.
or how many scoops of ice cream you've sold.
Uh-huh.
Especially here in Alaska, where per capita the most dessert sold is
Yes.
God knows why.
Yeah,
Ice cream. Ice cream is always the number one per capita dessert that is sold here in Alaska.
So on April 26, 2001, we decided we were going to open.
Okay.
Okay. And we opened late afternoon, early evening.
Mm-hmm.
And Bob Persons, who owned the Double Muskie at that time,
Yeah.
was our very first customer.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. And
And
then
you brought a musket?
the Double Muskie.
Oh, muskie.
Muskie, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he used to own it. I mean, he may still own it, but he lives outside. Now, he is older than I am. And we're good friends along the way. But he was our first customer. And then about 3 or 4 behind him was this gentleman named Tom Love, who lives in Girdwood.
Right.
Tom asked for a banana split.
Well, I don't have any bananas.
We had bananas, but we didn't have a knife.
Oh no.
No, we
Oh no, you got the ingredients, but you don't have the utensil.
we didn't have a knife to cut
The banana.
Yes, uh-huh.
Oh no.
So somebody in the shops says, they pulled out a pocket knife and I remember that vividly on our first night. Yes, uh-huh. And then opening in April, we had our first summer.
Mm-hmm.
And our first summer was very busy. We had no idea we were going to be that busy, Tyken. I kid you not.
Wow.
And we were in there, from morning to night, just like you need to do when you start a business. And then came winter. And at the end of summer, Bud and I were sitting down talking and thinking back on it. And we vowed to each other that we would not lay our employees off in the winter. We were not going to close because we watched how hard they worked right alongside us in the summer.
That's admirable.
So we decided to stay open all winter.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody knows that an ice cream shop is open in the wintertime.
Right.
If nobody knows you're open, nobody's going to come, right?
Right.
So we had days where our employee would be in there and we had 0 customers.
When they eat their own ice cream, do they count as a customer?
No.
No.
No,
Okay.
no. They can eat all the ice cream
They can eat all the ice cream they want,
Uh-huh.
but you're not a customer.
Mm-hmm. And so our graph sort of went, from up here in the summertime to way down here in the wintertime,
Mm-hmm.
and then back up and back down. And since then, every winter has gotten better and better and better. Yeah.
Interesting.
Because people know you're open.
Well, longevity
Yeah.
makes it
Mm-hmm.
happen.
Yeah.
Was there any period of time where you thought to yourself, man, this ice cream shop is not going to go the way I think it's going to go and I have to shut down? Or I have to No.
No, not even during COVID.
Interesting.
No.
So you were consistent every single year.
Yes. Yes. Uh-huh.
Interesting. Well, it's probably because you have the
COVID
best
was-
ice cream, but
Yeah, well, we do. We take such good care of that ice cream. And I know my staff gets tired of hearing me say, we've got to do this because of this. And, there's certain things you have to do with ice cream so it retains, the quality.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
But COVID was interesting.
Okay.
Yeah, it was, we were able to stay open.
When a lot of businesses shut down.
Yes. My son, we bought some big plexiglass things about, I'd say 3 by 3, maybe even a little bit bigger than that.
Interesting.
And hung it with the fishing line from the ceiling.
Mm-hmm.
So we'd have a barrier there in between.
Interesting.
And we had stanchions so that people could come in. And we limited it to just exactly what the Muni said, 6 people and, 6 feet apart. And stanchions and places where they could come in, do the ice cream thing, and go out without getting close to each other.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So with the impact of COVID, obviously it didn't impact your business as much as others. How do you think that affected, say, Girdwood in general when COVID happened? Like, did you notice an effect on the ice cream shop at all with people coming and going? Do you think the community handled it well?
Oh. Now, I don't remember the exact numbers, but people came to Girdwood to bike. They
Mm-hmm.
came to Girdwood to hike.
Mm-hmm.
There were so many things that they could do down there that were outside that they could do.
Right.
Yes. And even in my personal life, I've got a big deck, and I bought 2 big heaters, and people would come and you'd sit outside. But people just walked. We did a lot of walking at that time.
Interesting.
I think, yes. So you,
That's probably why the people are so beautiful in Girdwood.
yeah, you got it.
It's
They're-
in the water.
Yes, they're great people. But I didn't hear any poor us type thing.
Interesting. Well, that's awesome.
No. No, and even people that came into the shop, they were, it was like an out. It was an outing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Instead of going out for dinner, they would come and get ice cream
Mm-hmm.
because they knew they couldn't do the dinner thing too well.
Sure.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Well, that's...
But now that I think back on it, I'm just thinking about all the people that drove from Anchorage to come to go to walk in Girdwood.
There's a lot of people that go out of Anchorage just to go to Girdwood.
Yes.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I'm guilty of it as well.
Mm-hmm.
I love the town of Girdwood. I think it's a really neat community that's, it's very outdoorsy. That's what I like about it the most. And I also like fishing over there, doing some flossing for some salmon over there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think Girdwood's just a fantastic place. Fantastic
And
small
that
place.
bird to gird trail,
Yes.
that is, we get so many families whose children have been able to bike that.
Mm-hmm.
And that is and they come to the ice cream shop, that's their reward.
Mm-hmm.
The kids have biked from Bird down to Girdwood to the ice cream shop. They get their reward. Some of them, the parents will go get the car, and so the kids don't have to ride back. But
It's really
and the
cool.
kids are so proud.
Yeah.
They're just so proud.
I would absolutely agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
What do you believe is your impact? Do you believe you had a really positive impact on the community of Girdwood as a
Yes.
whole? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What about Alaska in general? Are you pretty well known in Alaska?
Yes. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What makes you believe was your success when it comes to your shop and the impact it has on the Girdwood community?
Can you restate that?
Sure. So with your ice cream shop, because of how popular it is, a lot of people like to go and socialize and eat at that ice cream shop. And I would imagine that it made a very positive impact for Girdwood as a community. So what do you believe that success made? What did the ice cream shop success make for Girdwood in general?
For Girdwood?
Yeah. I does that question?
For the Girdwood community?
Yeah.
It's a safe place.
Mm-hmm.
It is a non-biased place as
Mhm.
far as when you're in there, and it's very positive.
Right.
If you come in and you have a negative attitude, let's say that I'm going to interview for you for a job,
Mhm.
and you have a negative attitude, and I've had this bad thing happen in my life, I've had this bad thing happen in my life.
I choked
And
on ice cream. It was terrible.
you got it, Tyken. It
I was allergic to chocolate and I didn't realize until after I ate the scoop.
yes, if we don't put up with negativity.
Interesting.
You only have so many minutes on this earth,
Right.
and you can choose how you want to spend those minutes.
Right.
If you want to spend them in negativity, you go spend them in negativity, but not in the shop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hear you.
And that's not saying that people can't come in and talk about things in their life. Absolutely they can.
Mhm.
But as far as staff goes, it's all positive.
Right.
Yes, but not as far as customers go. Oh, no, 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 no. They can come in and, how do you want to say this? Spill the beans on anything and
Spill the
everything.
tea.
Yes.
All
yes,
that tea.
Yes.
The Girdwood tea.
They can do that, and they know it's not going to go anywhere.
Right.
I tell my staff that when you're working in here, there's one thing that you've got to remember. If somebody tells you something and you're going to hear some very personal things, it goes in one ear and out the other.
Yeah, and I absolutely agree with that.
Yes.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's really cool. And as you said, people in general, myself included, it's very easy to look at the negative things in life,
Oh, sure
but
it
it's
is.
very difficult to look at the positive things in life, and that's a mindset attitude.
It is.
Right. And
It is, Tyken.
yeah,
Absolutely.
and from what you're telling me, you're trying to cultivate your staff to look more at the positivity in life instead of the negativity.
Mm-hmm.
And that's important for a workplace too, because I've worked in plenty of workplaces with a negative attitude. I mean, if you work in the healthcare field, it's all negative attitude.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really easy to get sucked into that void of negativity.
Yes, yes. And you can't let yourself.
No,
Because, like I said, we only have so many minutes here.
we do only have so many minutes here, and I absolutely agree with
And
that.
we're constantly making that decision.
Mm-hmm.
And we all have things that hit us in the face.
Absolutely.
I mean, every one of us does. And the thing is we each have it, but it's just all different words. You know what I mean?
Interesting. That's a very interesting way to put it.
It is.
It's all very different words.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah.
So it's similar experiences, but different verbiage. Is
Mhm.
that what I'm understanding?
Yeah.
That is a very interesting way to put it.
Whether you have, I'm just going to give, like examples.
Sure.
Okay. Whether your car broke today. Okay. Or whether you stubbed your toe and broke your ankle.
Oh, yeah.
Or whether your dog broke his leg.
Well,
or,
you didn't have a dog, so.
Yeah. Not my dog.
Not your dog.
Or whether you're, or whatever it is, we all have that stuff happen.
Absolutely.
Yes. And you just have to think of a way to get over it, get out of it, or tolerate it. If it's something that goes on, you can live, but you've got this positive side that you need to concentrate on, because that's going to stay there. It can stay there.
Yeah, absolutely. And I really appreciate that answer, because with this, winter is always a very difficult time in Alaska, right? Especially this winter. I thought this winter was really difficult. So it's very easy to look at the negativity in life, and it's very hard to look at the positivity. And from what I'm understanding from your message is that's what we really need to hold on to.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I appreciate that sentiment. I really do.
Mm-hmm.
Well, since you've been in business for 25 years, is there any words of wisdom you'd like to give to those who want to go into a business and try to run a successful business?
Oh, wow.
And it doesn't have to be about not owning a dog. I'm sure they can own a dog if they want to.
They could own a dog if they wish. I would say if a person has a desire to do their own business, do all the research you can do and go for it.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid. And if it doesn't pan out the way you want it to, you can always close it down and move on to something else.
I love it. Yeah.
And as I was answering that question, I was thinking about several of my friends that has happened to, or things that didn't pan out the way they wanted to in particular business. They didn't let it shut them down.
Right.
No, they just moved on to something else. And you don't have to explain to anybody else. It's you.
Yeah, and that's absolutely true. I fully resonate with that answer. There's been plenty of things in my own life where I've tried different adventures and it didn't end up going the way that it was supposed to, right?
No.
But I think that's the beautiful part, because with every endeavor that you do embark on, and maybe it sinks, at least you can learn the lessons that you've learned of why it happened if you allow it to. If you're allowed to learn from it.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. There's so many things throughout my life that haven't gone the way I wanted it to. But that's okay. It's okay. Sure, I learned a lot from it. And do I regret it? No.
Beautiful.
Sometimes I think, oh, it would have been nice had this happened, but it didn't. So there's nothing I can do about it now. And so I might as well concentrate on what I can concentrate on.
That's really great. I really appreciate that answer. Well, Carol, it's been wonderful to have you on the podcast, and I appreciate your time, especially driving all the way from Girdwood to come over here.
Well, it's such a beautiful drive.
It is a beautiful drive.
Thank you for inviting me.
Of course. And again, you're more than welcome to come back on the show anytime you want to. Just give me a call.
Oh, okay.
Remember, folks, if you like this episode, please do like and subscribe, comment on the video. That's how we stay in business, and I hope you guys keep on babbling. Take care of Alaska.
That went fast.
Yeah, it usually does.